Hello, I'm Anthony Weiner, and thank you very much for participating in Reddit's Ask Me Anything. I did promise at the end of the chat that we did about healthcare and other things that I would come back and respond to the top 5 upvoted questions. Now, it's a little bit hairy because I did answer some of these during the original listing, but I figured I might as well honor the upvote. So here we go. Industrial engineer, this was the top question that was voted by the readers of Reddit. And why do you unconditionally support the State of Israel? Why have you insisted in the past that Palestinian Liberation Organization is a terrorist organization? Let Israel slide when it kicked Palestinians out of their homes. Look, my view is very simple, is that I don't think we should let anyone slide. But I do have a very strong bias for the State of Israel because of what it represents. It represents a democracy in a sea of theocracies and ideological states. It represents a judiciary that is pretty much the one to be respected in the region, the only one that's anything like it. They recently sent their former president to jail. That's how down the middle it is. And it's also one that is at the end of the day, respects people, respects women in its society, something that doesn't go on in that region. Let's keep in mind the David and Goliath story. This was a small country surrounded by nations that are at war with her. The way to solve the problems in the region is at the negotiating table. And that's why I think that Bibi Netanyahu, Mahmoud Abbas should sit down and negotiate. But we should keep in mind that Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, these are functionaries that don't want peaceful coexistence. They simply want Israel to disappear. But I do believe that at the end of the day, and this is my dream and my aspiration, there should be 2 states living side by side in peace, and that no one should be occupied by anyone. The second question comes from Bob Braddock Jr. About the Patriot Act and my vote on no on extending the Patriot Act. Look, there are elements of the Patriot Act that are very important. There are elements of the Patriot Act that allow to update to make sure that no one who wants to do harm to the United States are doing it, but it has been overinterpreted and made too broad. I refused to vote yes on an extension without knowing that we were going to try to make some changes to the law, and I certainly wouldn't vote for a permanent extension. Conrad Werner, legalize marijuana for recreational purposes. I'm not in favor of that. Don't smoke, stay off of drugs, and stay in school, kids. What's going on with campaign finance reform? Is there any? This is, as I think I said when I answered this, campaign finance reform and the Citizens United case and Buckley v. Vallejo, these things that have made it harder and harder for a middle-class person to get elected. I'm making this video now in my campaign office, where unfortunately a lot of us spend a lot of time trying to raise money to run campaigns. Corporate personhood is an abomination, and it needs to be changed. The only way you can really change it, though, is by making sure that Barack Obama gets a second term so he can appoint members of the Supreme Court that understand this. And we should also do some things like public finance of campaigns and full disclosure of where corporate monies are coming from. Finally, the top 5, D. Bingham. Thank you for fighting so hard for all of us. You're welcome. If there are more Democrats, wouldn't they use a dirty word here that I can't use? The Congressional Democrat putting up a solid fight. A lot of us on the outside are getting disappointed in President Obama, but we have no understanding of the process and the give and take that accompanies it. What do I think of President Obama's performance so far? Look, President Obama and I have a slightly different style in this, but we want the same things. The President, I think, believes that, with all these people fighting, the cacophony on Fox News on one side, people like me on the other side, his job is to try to get the best deal for the American people. I believe it's very important for all of us to express the values we care about from time to time. Even if we lose the fight, I think people should start conversations with, these are the things I believe in and the things I want to fight for. It doesn't mean that compromise is a vice, but it does mean that we should have a clear delineation. Republicans want the very well-to-do to be locked into that place and don't care that much about the rest of us. I, on the other hand, as a Democrat, believe we always have to be fighting to make sure that the middle class and those struggling to make it get a break. That's who I am, and that's who I'll always be. So all of you on Reddit, I hope that was quick enough for you. Come back and visit again. You can always go follow me on Twitter on REP Weiner, Rep Weiner. You can follow me at my Facebook page, and I'll be following you on Reddit. Thank you so much.